Welcome back to Sports Class with Dr. K. It's February and that can mean only one thing. Boogity, 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 boys! Let's go racing! I'm sure Darrell Waltrip has a trademark on that, but we'll go for it anyway. It's Daytona 500 time. The Super Bowl is behind us, but not the Super Bowl of racing, the Daytona 500. So we're going to take this episode and look at 10 of the biggest moments in Daytona 500 history. Number 10. Well, I've got a twofer for you right out of the gate, actually. This is a nod to the achievements of women in the Daytona 500. Starting with Janet Guthrie, the first woman to race in the Daytona 500 in 1977. She actually finished 12th. And then, of course, there's Danica Patrick, who raced in the Daytona 500 7 times. But her biggest moments came in 2013, which was her first full-time year on the circuit. She actually won the pole for the Daytona 500 that season, the first time a woman had done that. And she raced to an 8th place finish, the best up to that point for a woman in the Daytona 500. Number 9. In 1989, Darrell Waltrip, our boogity 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 man, won the Daytona 500 in his 17th attempt. But it was his antics after the race that are most memorable, as he gave a terrific post-race interview and then did his version of the Icky Shuffle, slamming his helmet down like he was spiking the football. Number 8. How about the closest finish in Daytona 500 history? 2007. We've got Mark Martin, we've got Kevin Harvick coming down the stretch, and the .02 second margin of victory makes it the closest finish in Daytona 500 history. Number 7. This one really didn't involve the race itself at all, but was a crazy on-course incident. Juan Pablo Montoya in 2012 ended up crashing into one of the dryer trucks on the track, creating a spectacular explosion, which was all the more memorable because Brad Keselowski, during the red flag caution, actually got out of his car and filmed the thing with his phone on the backstretch. That's the first and last time that's ever going to happen in NASCAR. Number 6. One of the greatest finishes between two of NASCAR's all-time greats. In 1976, David Pearson and Richard Petty battled down the backstretch, coming to the finish. The two ended up spinning out, and Richard Petty couldn't get going again. David Pearson was able to crawl across the finish line, winning that race in the most memorable fashion. Moment number 5 came in 1988, when Bobby Allison became the oldest winner of the Daytona 500 at age 50. But even more remarkable was that he beat his son, Davey, for a 1-2 finish for the Allison family. Number 4. How about the first Daytona 500 ever in 1959 and the first photo finish in Daytona 500 history? This race included many NASCAR Hall of Famers, some of the all-time greats, but coming down the stretch, it was Richard Petty's father, Lee Petty, and Johnny Beauchamp coming to the line. Race officials initially awarded the win to Beauchamp, but Lee Petty lodged a complaint. They went to the photo finish, and eventually Petty was declared the winner. Number 3, 1998. Dale Earnhardt finally gets his win at the Daytona 500 after years of trying. Many drivers on the circuit hated Dale Earnhardt. Nonetheless, after this emotional win, they lined the track to congratulate Earnhardt on his historic victory. Number 2, 1979, The Fight. This race is remembered most because of the brawl that Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison engaged in after the race was over. It was Richard Petty that ended up winning the race. This was also held during a blizzard, so much of the nation, with nothing else to do, ended up watching this historic moment live, our number 2 biggest moment in Daytona 500 history. And number 1, in 2001, there's only one place to go with this one. It's the death of Dale Earnhardt, the 2001 Daytona 500. A tragic moment, really one of the most tragic moments in sports history. For those who watched the race and saw that crash on the final lap, it didn't look all that serious. Of course, it ended up being the perfectly calamitous kind of crash, and Earnhardt was killed in the crash. That event led to many changes in safety in racing. The nature of the helmet, the harnesses in the car, safer barriers around the track. That crash today, in all likelihood, would not have been fatal. Michael Waltrip went on to win that race, which is often forgotten, but it's Dale Earnhardt's death that makes it the #1 most important moment in Daytona 500 history. So, there you have it. The 10 biggest moments in Daytona 500 history. Let me know what you think of the list in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.